Thinksabio came up with divided some of the all the reports into two different things. That way, we can cover in short rather than going for lengthy sessions. That was the whole idea. So after just a brief introduction, what we did on day one. On day one, we talked about what really Thinksabio is doing today. Okay, that's basically trying to grab institutional investors' data. And second thing, we talked about what really it means in terms of getting that data. How are we getting it? We went into detail on how we receive data daily and also quarterly, right? Those things were covered. And if you want to identify a potential ticker, what reports we should be able to review, we went through that. And also, let's say if you already know a particular symbol, you got to know about some company, you heard about it or anything, then we went ahead and saw ISR report where everything is clubbed or everything is presented in single report, entire history of a particular stock. Those are the things we covered. Okay, today continuation of that, I like some of the reports which gives multidimensional view where we can be able to find a potential one. Those are some reports. Apart from that, today we are going to cover a little bit of website functionalities, which will be useful. And to be very honest, I don't use intensively on those, but overall, it is available. We can take a look and use as per our goals, etc. On that note, maybe I may not go in line according to the banner what was presented, but let's see how we can cover. They have my universe. It's as it says, and as we can see, it's nothing but you're just trying to maintain some of your portfolio symbols. That way, it gives some overview, etc. Definitely, we all have brokerages. We can use that here also. It is available. You can play around and do some paper trading, etc. All that kind of functionality has been provided. So if you want to add a stock, we just add it, how many shares, average cost, you put it. And when you go to virtual, it's similar functionality, but instead of you giving some averages according to the prices during the market times, you will be able to figure out and add. Okay, that's how it is uh, available, and it's all self-explanatory. But what is the importance? Let's say I add it. One thing is we track it, we'll be able to see on a day to day. It's like any other brokerage, you have it on if you use watch list, something like that, right? But the important factor I love to see here is, let's say I'm really looking into all of this data and improvise uh, improvise my approach. Then once you add here, okay, if you go through the health check, for example, let's say you added bunch of tickers and you wanted to go through the health check. So by health check, conclusion is given, and the conclusion is given for various reasons, which is already mentioned to you, right? They look into the counts behavior or the returns behavior, etc., etc., and conclusion is given, which I typically not get into that because I have all the other details available in front of me, so I can come up with the conclusion I like. So, but otherwise it is available. Then here you will be able to see, hey, on a high level and quickly you will be able to see how really the content is for the stocks I'm owning. Apart from that, if you want to see by sector, what they are presenting is how much money did I put for my sector. No, for technology sector I put almost 92% of my money. Whereas if you consider institutions, when I say institutions, Thinksabio is presenting around 6,000 to 7,000 plus institutions. So the reference point here is 7,000 people. Let's think that way. That 7,000 people are addressing only 20% of their portfolio to technology sector. Whereas the hedge funds, here hedge funds are referred to 10 people, top 10 people. If you, as I said, if you attend the session one, you would be able to easily connect the dot, what it means, who they are, etc. So if you consider them, they also did 20%. What it is telling me right now, right? So if I want to be a very disciplined investor, and if I want to learn from successful investors, maybe I have to trim this down and make sure that I'm following some rules. Unless I followed something and I put for some reason, that's a different story. But in general, how they have been doing, you are able to get some overview, complete overview. Okay, this is how they've been doing. Why don't I develop something in similar fashion? That kind of possibilities are there. The best one I like about it is, by favorite institution. I bought bunch of them, but I want to see what some of the favorite institutions are really doing. Okay, that could be one thing. But even before I get into, definitely I would have done that homework. But for whatever reason you want to see, or you don't track it day in day out, whenever you want to quickly go and check, this is the place where you will get some idea or some overview that you can take a look and conclude that, hey, you know what, since this guy is doing this, I'll be able to figure out and do. For example, let's go ahead and do Vanguard. Okay, Vanguard is a good institute. They do banking, as you all know. They are into multiple things. That's why it's referred to as institution. And if I go there, he might be present in various stocks. That's my observation. But even when he's present into many stocks, how do I draw a conclusion that which one could be the better? That's where you deep dive into the data and try to see the patterns, etc., and come out with some conclusion. So for my stocks, if you see here, he has been sitting into Apple for so long. It's a great company. They invested bunch of shares. Yeah, they are into billions of shares, whatever, right? And they consistently been there, or they trim on very when stock has been moving rapidly, like 30-40% in a quarter. Definitely everybody has to take profit somewhere, right? But the end they believe it. But here, if I see out of this all the conclusion, for me here, this number is attracting. Whether it's right or wrong, once you get into detail, we'll know. But immediately it caught my eye, saying that, hey, 42% is available. Why? I think he has 11 million shares, and then he made it to 16 million shares by end of quarter two. So between one quarter to another quarter, he has increased this much, like 5 million. Although he already has significant amount, he then bumped it up. So that gives me confidence that, okay, am I in the right path of investment? If you go and search and back test many of the great successful companies, they worked on the long run, provided these people started showing interest. They try to get in as much early as possible, and the stock keeps performing with the idea. So okay, this looks great for me, at least, right? As I said, even before entering, you do that homework. But let's think, for whatever reason you missed it, you try to. So like this, you will be able to figure out and do some health check, etc. Those are the additional functionality Thinksabio is providing. Uh, and as I said, I'll be honest, I did not use extensively, but something, if you are really interested, that can help you. So that covers my universe. It's simple. You will be able to add a stock. You will be able to keep it as watch list. But on top of it, you can combine that watch list to be able to tell with the help of institutional data. That's the benefit you have by doing so as a watch list. So my universe is covered, and health check is also covered, right? How to check that health of particular companies, or the stocks we own, right? Then let me jump on to comparing institutions and comparing symbols. Okay, as I said, some of the language, if you are not part of day one, that could be may not be healthy, but otherwise you should be able to connect the dots very easily. So I said I'll go ahead and show comparison. What does that mean, right? So you have institution, right? Vanguard is an institution. uh, Fidelity has its own. FMR is an institution. 0.72, Morgan Stanley, Bailey Gifford. Like this, you have plenty of institutions. As I said, 6,000 to 7,000 plus data is available. So you can pick anything. Maybe you heard from your friend, or maybe on an article you saw something that they are talking, hey, this achieved great success, but you want to see what really it means, right? Something like that. So those are all institutions. Many times we go and check motley fool articles, or motley fool pick, we talk about it. And if you observe, just because he recommends, it doesn't go straight line, right? We all know will be down. They can never perform too. So same thing. So, but here you'll be able to see completely what motley fool invested into, etc., etc. But this functionality is comparing. You're comparing between two institutions for whatever reason you thought, what, how these two people are doing between two, right? When I go into that, when I deep dive into that report, for example, I want to give Vanguard. Okay, you can pick any. I'm just picking for demo purpose something. Okay, and maybe I picked Bailey Gifford. Okay, these are the two institutions I follow once in a while. So if we submit it, so it brings all the institutions, all the stocks that these two people are invested in, basically. If you see Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, these are standard companies. They did long back. But our aim, with the help of this content or this platform, is to be able to identify the next potential runners, right? The next potential big companies that can emerge. So that's the whole idea. That is possible when you look into data. And also, you have to, we should not be able to think that, okay, I invested, tomorrow it has to grow. But yeah, if you go into this report, clearly it is showing me, okay, Microsoft, this is all invested. What one guy did, now what is the conclusion they are getting? Both are increasing. That's it. With respect to Microsoft, I don't have to tell anything, or anybody on this call knows that, okay, it's a safe investment, maybe I'll take it. But what if it was new company? You'll get some guidance, right? And I just picked two. You can do any number. And also, I would love to go and filter it out. I don't want everything. I just want to see what they newly bought. If they don't have a position and they are getting into now, that means there is a high possibility I can see some success, right? They are entering right now. And when they both enter together, this combination will only bring stocks that they both have done this action for this quarter when compared to previous quarter. So that gives me a leverage that, hey, you know what, these are the stocks they're really invested into. And each can invest according to their portfolio. One guy invested 18 million, one guy invested 2 million. Why? It could be. Now you can draw conclusions. A person with this, who maintains around 300 billion assets under management. So basically, his portfolio is around 300. That's what it means. And a person who manages around trillions of dollars, right, is buying only 2 million. So like, when I quickly see, I'm getting some attention or conflict information here. Maybe he just put 2.6 out of that much money he has. Am I really going to look into this? That's where you have other reports to make to get to a conclusion, right? So that is comparing institutions. You put two institutes, you try to filter out with whatever way, you can play around with the prices, etc., etc., etc. So that way you can find some good positive stocks. Okay, that's comparing institutions. Let's do a comparing symbols also. Because what happens whenever we have two choices, we always get confused. What could I buy? What could be the best one, right? So maybe, let's take some airline stocks. There will be nice five airline stocks. Everything might be moving, but you will think, what could be the best one I have to focus on? So you can give any number of tickers, but let's go ahead and see if I pick this, or if I pick this. So if I pick this, it's comparing the data and telling you, see how it has given, how much it has grown recently, or the possible growths based on recent highs and the current sale price it is generated. But overall, it is telling you, what, Q2, how many institutions are there, DAL, how many institutions are there, UL, how many institutions are there. This is on a high level basic information, right? Then you are able to compare how it acted across last 6 7 quarters, 8 quarters, whatever the data is presented here. So you'll be able to see a pattern. Is the faith increasing, decreasing? If so, when it, at what point did it really impact? From 2000 it came 1700. When did it impact? Now how it is behaving? What is the sign it is giving you, right? 300 institutes thought during pandemic it will have a hard time. That's how it has been, and it has been stuck around that range. And now some faith is going in. Maybe it's time for you to think through. Okay, is it time for me to invest here for little gains? Everybody's goals are different, right? So for that reason. And similarly between these two, what is it? Some reduce 4, some. So across this industry, the investors' faith has been similar, right? So you get that info at one shot. So then again, how hedge funds did, some guys, the hedge funds information is here, right? So how hedge funds did, they reduced 20%, 33%, 25% increase for UAR, became 4 to 5, 6 to 4. But if you see overall, 4, 4, 5, around the same area it is there. So each of this table will give you some highlight of, okay, what has happened with respect to the counts behavior, institution counts behavior. This is giving you shares behavior, how it is performing with respect to shares, basically how it is doing with respect to all the institutions, investors. This is how it did with respect to top 10 people. This is how it did. You see here, shares has increased for dal. So maybe, it's a good sign, etc., etc. We'll be able to figure it out and do it. On top of it, by investor itself, by 10 investors itself, how they did. This is where I try to take a deep look and come to conclusion, because if an investor is entering at some point, the aim is for that stock to perform. But if I can able to catch around the same price as is, I'm also in the traveling the same boat. But if I get to see or realize after stocks have run hundreds of percent, that means I need to take a cautionary step, or I need to analyze more in detail to be able to tell that, okay, it still has some growth trajectory, so that's fine, then I can get it, right? But if I'm entering around on the same lines and see a potential business to be worth, then I'm the best advantage I have got. So like that, if you see, based on institutions complete behavior, dal has got rank 1 because of all the institutions, etc., etc., whatever the scenario is, right? So many institutes are here, right? 3 and 3 6, 3 and 2 5. So based on this information and how much they have been performing with respect to the shares behavior, they have given the ranks, basically. So now I know, maybe if I see this quickly, I prefer dal, right? DAL could be, the delta could be my choice. If it is backed with some other information, or anything you heard about, etc., etc., this is just adding more value to your conclusion decisions, basically, right? That's comparing symbols. Okay. So far we just saw how you can manage your portfolio using that. Once you have some certain symbols in your portfolio, how you can do some health check, it might be helpful for your decision making. And on top of it, we saw, if you try to see two institutions, you take best institutes, right? You put in 3 4 institutes also together, and try to get the best increased stocks, for example. If all of them are increasing, that means it has some potential. You will get only stocks that are increased by all 4 people, 5 people, or whoever you importing there, right? That is clearly driving you to a decision that this many people are seeing positivity here, then why not me, right? So that kind of report we saw. And the symbols also we try to compare, right? If you are confused where to go, which one to see, you have some kind of analysis in place telling you, okay, this, etc. And remember, all this information always should be tied with the any current behavior of the market or news. That way, on a short term basis, you are making sure your decisions is right. On a long run, at the end of the day, you cannot control how world is going to react, all that. But on a long run, these investors look at the prospects of the company and invest. So that part, I think we are very much on a good line. But if you are getting in right now, if you see some positive news, that's better, even better for you to make right judgments, etc., right? So the topic is covered. So let me jump on to the Dow theory reports. Okay, what it means, Dow theory reports, what it means? Nothing. It's deal of the week. That's the name I coined. I honestly never talked to Sai or Thinksabio to confirm what it means. But so stocks can be on an uptrend, stocks can be on a downtrend, right? Some stocks perform, some stocks perform very badly, basically. So anytime, right? At least this is what I have learned over a period of time. If a stock is performing, the chances for it to perform better is higher. If a stock is weak, right, the stock can continue to do the downtrend. The reason is, let's say, a stock dropped from $8 to $6, $6 to $5, $5 to $4. Okay, even when it bounces back from 4 to 5, the existing sellers, I mean buyers who are in loss, they try to take something out of it and get out. Okay, so the performance of that stock to be a to get onto uptrend and continue to show strength might take some time. Okay, whereas in the uptrend stock, definitely it's performing. The reason it's performing is it is attracting buyers, and it will continue to perform is the overall idea. And every stock will have a break on the uptrend, every stock will have a break on the downtrend. But the high probability, if you are looking on a short term basis or being a trader for day trade or swing traders, is the positive stocks, let's try to stick with them. Negative stocks, let them write it down, right? And if you have a bigger goal of long term, that deep the dips are the gifts for us to capture, right? Like Baba, whatever. So that is the on that concept, these are capturing all the stocks that are performing nicely in a positive manner, all the stocks that are performing in the negative manner. Very simple. So if you go to any down and uptrend stock, these are the stocks performing since 4 weeks. There could be many. There are many actually, right? There are many out of 7,000, 10,000, 15,000 symbols performing in stock market. Well, 2,000 can be up, 8,000 can be down, 3,000 could be up, rest could be down, etc., etc. So it is very hard to judge which one could be the potential one, right? But at least you can come to analysis that okay, using this, maybe I'm in the right direction, or am I picking the right stock at the right time. That's what many of us call technical analysis or charting, etc., right? So what is charting? If it is breaking, if it is performing better, if it is moving higher highs, you will try to get that. That's what it is. But how you use that charts, how you put in your skills, your eyes, similar way how you put in your effort here to grab or extract the best stock is our homework at the end of the day. But at least it is giving you clear picture of what are the stocks that could be the potential movers or to the upside, what are the potential stocks that could be the potential downside movers, etc. So here, how do I use it? Yeah, report is great, etc. How do I use it? You can play around with filters or anything, right? You can play around. Okay, you know what, I don't want anything, I just want a transportation stock. Are there any? In this fourth week there are none. Okay, let me go and check any technology stocks. Are there any? So if you see, out of those many, now you boiled down your content to just few stocks, just a few stocks. So like this, you have to filter it out and try to make sure that okay, I'm looking at the right data, etc. Then you will be able to see okay, this with this information recently, okay, some transaction happened, or Dell is moving, Oracle is moving, the old technology baggers are moving right now. That's the conclusion I got with the help of this report. I don't need anything else now. Just by seeing this report, I got to see okay, these are the stocks for me. Market is very bad, right? Market has been unfortunately, it has been struggling. Okay, but still some stocks are moving. Maybe like you can pick airline stock, dal, or whatever. Let's go to maybe 3 weeks. Let's see if there are any stocks here. So if I want to see Boeing, okay, or the Delta, so I'm just see, I saw the data, so I'm trying to put it in place. But okay, I was able to get it. This dal is present here. It's on the nice uptrend, etc., etc. So maybe why it is uptrend. Is it giving me some clarity? Maybe you want to see some chart, simple chart. On any website also is good enough for us to make some decisions of entries and exits. Like that, this will be helpful. Even for any pricing, you can put any pricing range of our interest or our capability, and you will be able to find that kind of stocks also. Similarly, this same with down trade, basically. Nothing different. How we use is very simple. You put in your price range, or you select your sectors or the performance of the weeks, and try to see some positive information here that can help in your decision making of your entries, basically. Okay, I think this is a right time to always, that's the question we have, right? Is it right time to invest here? What could be the price, etc., etc. So that's what it is. If stock is performing, maybe it's time for you to take a look, right? Depending on our goal. If stock is performing very bad and you think that's a discount you are getting it for your long term payoff, then that's another way you take a chance, basically, right? That's what it is with the Dow reports, basically. The best one out of all this session, most of the important stuff is covered in day one, but the best one I like is how to find your multi-bagger stocks, right? For that, Sai has come up with a beautiful report which I really like. If you go to quarterly, right, as I said, you need to be in the first session to connect the dots, but quarterly captures quarterly data. Once quarterly data is captured, the aim of this institute is they buy Shopify early so they can get this what is happening with Shopify today, right? They don't buy Shopify at 1100 to get to 1500, 2000. Maybe there are people who still buy that, we will see who are buying. Are they still really buying Shopify or not? But my point is, they get identify the growth of a company early and they stay in. So that means if I start following today and try to identify some good companies, and if I give time for next few years, maybe I'll find different companies. Shopify did one kind of performance, Nvidia did one kind of performance, Facebook did one kind of performance, Netflix did one kind of performance. All four are good companies if you ask, right? But each one has given its own kind of returns. That's what puts us under two parts of luck or sizing, where you do all that. But with the help of this report, you'll be able to find what is that. It's nothing but it's called as ultimate report. Okay, if you go to quarterly all institution ultimate report, why this is important? What we are trying to tell here is, hey, since 2 quarters, if the counts increased, see the title, institution counts increased. Basically, 2 quarters counts increased, grab me the data. Okay. If I drop down, okay, for me, 5 quarters, 6 quarters, 10 quarters, whatever is increased since 10 quarters, grab me that data, right? That is reducing your choice, okay, as you go up, and also trying to bring the potential stock that has been showing interest by all these investors. And also here, if you see, you have count. That's just by counts, institution counts. When you do shares, that means that just by shares, if the shares are moving again and again every quarter, that kind of stocks are being pulled. When you do both, the combination of both is nothing but counts are going up, shares are going up. When both are going up, and if you see that for few quarters, etc., etc., that means that has good growth trajectory, right? So that's the overall idea. If you see here, if I go to counts and let's say if I do some 9, let's see what we get. Bunch of stocks always keep performing. Market will always have some good quantity of them. Out of this, you again have to go and filter out which sector could be, etc., etc. Maybe what, I like technology. Let me see how many are there. See, from all of that, it came down to nothing. When I had no knowledge, not much knowledge, I kept on seeing Dawa around $40. Although I did not pick, and the stock was moving slowly, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, etc. Then I said, what, that's the best choice we made. But look at it after few days, after few quarters, it is at $153, right? Just like we spoke, everything gives different kinds of returns at different points. But at the end, if you are getting into a potential stock, your 1 rupee, $1 is going to make another dollar. That's the aim. If you know exactly which stock will give you how many dollars, everybody will be in that stock only. But the idea is you have to be in a potential winner stock that can give you some wins. As long as we are doing that, our progress is positive and we can find great winners on the way. So this I saw with this pattern long back, 3-4 quarters back, when it was running like this. I felt, wow, if somebody is showing interest, then that means something is there. And also inline, I have to understand the business of it. When I can understand the business of it, I can connect the dots with the successful companies in the world currently. So that will tell me the possible reach of that stock. Okay, this can reach to this point. Although the investors are investing, this can reach this point. That's why I'm picking, etc., etc., right? So that's how the stock perform. You pick anything, right? It came, APPS came from nothing. I believe it was recommended at around $25 by Thinksabio. You take ENPH. When I joined Thinksabio, Sai was pounding about the stock each day, every day, just like he does on few stocks right now. Maybe it could be CPNG or something, whatever the stocks we keep talking. He has been telling ENPH, ENPH. I saw the price action. Then I was like, yeah, it's a great choice he made. Then when it drops, man, what is happening? Thinksabio said it will be running. But the history is from $25 to $200+. Only time has proven how this data was useful to make that decision that day. And I'm not sure even if we identified at early stages, but the idea was this was growing. Okay, back then I don't have that knowledge, but I clearly know what they were talking about when I entered. So one with these numbers, it was clearly helpful to make a decision, and this has delivered it. This has delivered the result what we need. Same you talk about CRWD, shop, etc. Right? When shop is existing, we didn't have data, but let's think if it was there. We will see how shop behaved in one of the report. But if shop was there, think about it, what we could have achieved, right? So we will see the shop data to determine what we could have done in the past if Thinksabio was existing. But what we did with the CRWD, with the help of this information, we caught it. This is a new company, we caught it. And the steady progress you are able to see here, and so the result of the company, right? And so the growth of the company. We got in early around 40, 45, $50, and it has reached almost $300, right? Same with ENPH. So out of 7 stocks here, or 8, 9 stocks it came, which were early in the stage, I was able to see this. Thinksabio posted APPS, ENPS, CRW. We got the best winning stocks. The idea is to do the same again and again, again and again. And they did not happen overnight. They took certain amount of time, but it did deliver results. So this is how it will be helpful to play around like anything. You can go with any of the sector, and you can put in your ways. And also, as I said, you can go with price range. I don't want all this price. I want only $10, between $5 to $10. I want to utilize some, and I'm okay to wait. That's You're coming up with a strategy, but you need a platform or a tool to tell you that your way of thinking should give you some result out also, right? So this will tell you, okay, this could be your ways to look at it. All this kind of stocks, something interest, we invest, it will pay off. Something that's the overall idea. If you see here, so many stocks are there. These are multinational companies, which doesn't move. We have to understand the behavior of the stock also, right? So okay, JNG is a great stock, but they move very slow, step by step, step by step. But they are standard companies. That's why people love to be in those companies. Institutes love to be in those companies. If something breaks through, that keeps paying them money, right? Dividends will be there on some stocks, etc., etc., all that. So if you see here, okay, I think PAVM is discussed, etc. But you pick any of this, it doesn't matter. Only thing we need is some homework and little early entry, then it will be good. I think this is around $5, $6. So it was posted around $2 or something. It continues to keep running, and it is proving 13, 15, 17, 26, 53, 60, 65, 91, 101. Think about it. When it reaches to 200 institutions, that means these people are paying at this price. You have to understand. Even when we bought up that CRWD, let's go back to that example. But they are paying this money at this current levels, basically. Okay, on any pullbacks or anything. So let's go back here again, just so we understand. So this institute of 60 to 70 people have paid around $200. If I go and check the chart of the price behavior of CRWD on recent pullbacks, let's think they are all smart and they got the perfect dip. Still, they paid $200. So if they pay $200, they cannot just quit for $220. For that reason, every day they will find. If we are able to find 10% moving stock on a day to day, can these people not find it? Do you think they have to report to SEC, hold it, all that? No. So their idea is, if they see still growth and they want to secure their portfolio, they'll get into good companies. That's what exactly we have to think through and come up with our own ways of investing style, right? On that note, I thought I spoke that, okay, I'll show you how Shopify could have behaved, right? How Shopify could have behaved. Let's see if it has any potential here. So it is covering. I just went to some quarter, and it so 9 quarters from here will be something. You see here 200. Let's do some more, maybe, if it is available. I don't know. See, you see, so around 15 or 16 it started, if I correctly follow. And I don't have knowledge back then, but so 181, 212, 244, 271, blah blah blah. You enter at any point. For example, let's think 244 became 270, or when it became this much big, you enter at any point. The temporary downside could have been there. It doesn't matter, no matter what was the situation, right? But always stock continued to give progress, right? You see how it has moved. So here you have to think through one point. 494 to 520, almost 20, 30 people. Let's put it as 30 people, and it is 30 people. 30 people paid $1,000 for the stock. Literally, they were not there. They were not. By this we can clearly tell at least 30 people newly got in, or etc. Some people might have left because they made money. That means the new people who got in will increase, but at least 30 people paid $1,000 on the stock. We can go check the graph, right? What it is telling us. So let's say if you had entered early in the stage, $100, $200, 300, for example, it is telling you a direction that I can still stay on it without any panic. I can believe in the long-term prospects of this company. I can believe that there is still growth on this company. That's what it is telling. Why would somebody spend $1,000 to sell it for 1,100? You have to think. So that's how you can draw conclusions when you have a platform in your hand. So this is one kind of report we covered. So after that, we have. I want to talk few things during question and answer about how our mindset is while investing. Right? I started with zero. My mindset was to grab all penny stocks. Uh, this will move to like quickly 40 cents, 60 cents. No, ideas were wrong, right? We all learn on the process. Some great stocks will be moving, and you can never catch those stocks. So that continues to build wealth. These ones are temporary money. So many things were learned. So I thought during question and answer, if somebody has, I can speak on that, etc. So I'll take 1 minute to talk about how I started. Right, I invested into FSLY. Okay, that's a stock. After seeing the data and also check transaction, I invested into FSLY. I invested at $17, 17 or 17.5. I waited 1 week. The stock moves to 18.5 and comes back to 17.5. I waited another week. It moved, actually not week, I think couple of days. So I thought next time it moves to 18.5, I'll sell it, and then it comes back to 17.5, I'll buy it. Okay, that way I'm doing some great analysis there. That's how exactly it has worked. It went to 18.5, I sold it. It came to 17.5, and it went to 17 also. I did not buy. For whatever, will our money will be stuck, or you don't gain confidence, or for some reason you don't buy it. So I did not buy. And stock ran to 120, $30 in next 4 months. Okay. So point is, once you invest, one stock could be running right after you invest. The very second you invest, it just starts moving. That kind of tickers also came to my path, but some did not do. Some, in this example, like FSLY, they perform here and there. 1 month they test your patient, but overnight when you sleep and wake up, it will be gone. That kind of possibility is also there. And some, once you invest, right away after the second you invest, they keep going down, just like they started going up for some of them. So the idea is, what was your plan even before you invest? If you can design that, then the action also can be according to that. But if you just followed, my friend told me, hey, go buy this. Yeah, I don't know now how much to invest first place, because I don't have any confidence or information that what the stock is, or even if I have, I did not gain confidence about investing there. So first place, I don't know how many dollars to invest. I might have 100K portfolio, but I don't know 1,000, putting $1,000 is right, or putting $10,000 is right, because I have no information or no DD was done. Second thing, let's say stock moves 10%, you don't know what to do, whether to sell or wait. You don't know because you did not do the homework. Let's say stock drops 10% or 20% or 50%. You don't know whether to still hold or average because you did not do any homework. So the idea here is use the platform. You might fail initially or you might fail 1 year, but when you continue to see something in it, when you continue to grab information out of it or draw your investment style by connecting the dots of data plus your emotional behavior, success is possible. But blindly following someone, blindly following some alert, there is no possibility because you don't know what to do. You don't know how to put, how much money to put first place. If you do that step wrong, that means you are already on a winning streak or losing streak already. Drop, you don't know. When to average, you don't know. You have no plan completely. So that's the problem. So my point here to talk about my experience is having stocks going to red is very much common. Stocks not moving at all, very much common. Stocks paying you off right away, common. We like the third one. Other two will bother us. But those who master the other two, they will win. Those who take the winnings humbly, they will win. Right? So that's some learning I did. So I thought I will share and we can talk in detail during question and answer. Okay. And coming to options, I think they put it here, but it is covered in other sessions, right? They talked about covered calls, and most of the Thinksabians are sharing their buys depending on market or depending on news. So to do this here, since we're talking about options, I came up with my experience and I shared one message, but maybe during the call it's very much easy. So I started off playing big money into that. One day the account goes big green, the other day goes big red. It's just completely emotional journey. And also when I put too much money, what happens immediately when if it drops by 10-20%, I'm out of it because I'm running into pressure that okay, I made a wrong decision, my dollar is going down. Rather, if I size it properly, let it go to 60% today. I don't worry because I invested with thinking that it will work. I have to give time. Whether I am buying that much amount of time on my options or based on different kinds of option strategies we have is one thing. And also, if I'm putting right amount that doesn't bother me, even if my assumption goes wrong, that will not drive you to panic and quickly sell, quickly buy, because you sell it, it starts moving. You don't sell it, it's dropping. The only way to overcome that is you give time or you find a play with a plan and enter, and you also make sure any dollar invested there think as zero and then invest, because that will not bother you. You have $10,000 account, you thought this 500 is not mine, you decided it's not mine. So if you lose that 500, it is not going to bother you. But you thought this 500 will make me $10,000 in 1 week, and you invested. That's what you will dream in your sleep, and then it will not happen. It will drive you to crazy. That 500 is gone, then you invest all 9,500 to get back your aim or dream, which was $10,000, which you think even if it moves little, I'll get that 10,000, which will not happen. Again, you will drive into emotional balance, and that's how it works with the options. So, idea of options, how many different kinds can be done, is being continuously shared by Thinksabio and platform, and also different players supporting Sai, etc., etc. And also, what kind of options can be bought is being shared in the groups. But the idea, those ideas should be converted to our plan and executed to see success. So on that note, they continue to do that option sessions. That's what I heard. So I'm not going to focus much on that other than during the question and answer. On that note, today, to summarize it, we covered my universe, what kind of futures that can have, and within my universe, how can you do health check, right? And apart from health check, you try to compare the institutions, okay, two institutions, what stocks they own, and based on your filters, you're trying to tell, okay, this is what I can buy, etc., right? And also, uh, you compared symbols itself. Okay, I have heard about few symbols, or I myself have few symbols in my mind, but how do I come to some conclusion? Let me see some reports, etc., right? You got to know about what are the stocks that can be potentially good entries or potentially performing well. One report available to you, you play around between the prices, sectors, etc., you got the results. right? Similarly, which are breaking down again and again. If you think they are at advantage, you will be able to pick as long-term stock. If not, you don't touch it, because as I told you, when they are downtrend, the idea is even in a good strength market, they are the ones which perform the weak. When you know they don't perform, why you want to put your dollar there at that point of time, right? And things can change overnight. That the downtrend can become uptrend, uptrend can be. But the idea is you form some rules and try to follow that. Then this could be the opportunity to look into. These are the ideas that can give you some ideas about something else, right? We saw about that. We talked about a little bit of options, how it drives emotionally, and we also talked about stocks, what it really does in real time. Putting dollar and expecting tomorrow, it works sometimes, it won't work most times. So you have to be prepared for that, and that's how the investing works. So to understand this, it might take 1 year, and it might take a account to lose or a 2 times account to lose. You will be loading again and again. But when somebody is trying to tell their experience, if you can correlate early, maybe you take actions that will not drive you to blow up your account, right? That we talked about. And finally, important thing, you want to catch multi-baggers early in the stage. That's where ultimate reports will come into picture. I showed you how to play, and if you do deep dive into those, you will find best multi-baggers. I can be very confident on this, right? So overall, this is what we discussed. But overall, as a Thinksabio platform, how it will add value to you, if you think through, right? If I get SEC transactions, which were covered in during day one, if as soon as investor in investing, if I'm get to know his investments and little DD about how the price moved and what the company is, I'm almost getting close to their entries. When I'm getting close to their entries, my potential advantage is high. I can talk about stocks which work right away. I can talk about stocks which took 6 months, did nothing, but gave more than 5-6 times returns. But at the end, what I'm trying to tell is, you entered along with them, you give time, that stock is going to pay you. When 90% of them are paying, 70% of them are paying, that's a huge success in investment world, in stock market. So that possibility is there. That's what platform is providing you. And you want to grab is great stocks like whatever Shopify, Netflix, these are history. But what Thinksabio has provided is ENPH, PDD, CRWD, SC, you name it, NEO, JMIA, Yuxin, these are all winners. But when you entered that alert, what you exactly did with that execution matters for your success. They can only identify, right? We have to do our own work and come up to a conclusion whether this at this point could be a right one for my portfolio or not. But they have delivered hundreds of stocks by using this ultimate reports concept, which Sai has explained again and again. A Carvana, I still remember, there were 18 stocks he used to post every day or every week. Carvana, Doku were the ones which were in $60-$70, and you can check the price where they are or how far they have reached at one point. And rest I talked about few stocks. So that's what you get from this platform, to be able to identify a multi-bagger stock very early in the stage. Forget about Motley Fool telling about CRWD at $120. You were able to catch it at $40. You name it, you can catch stock. The only thing, you have to build that confidence that it will work and execute it according to the circumstances of little market, right? So that's what you get. Many talk about charting, analysis, etc. Charting is trying to find uptrend stocks, trying to find stocks that are breaking 52-week high, trying to find stocks that can perform week over week. You have Dow theory reports to be able to figure out all that, right? So all these things are available. Are we using to the potential? Is depends on us. A guy who is charting is not going to that chart and presenting it just like that. He's putting hundreds of hours to be able to see what our eyes are not seeing it and trying to present, right? So that's little of hard work. That all that work has been done and presented in a simple format for us to use, try to understand, compared to any other website present in the market today. So I started with zero knowledge in stock market. This platform has helped me grow abundantly. I can tell with confidence. I did not use anything else, but continue to focus on this. Of course, today social media gives so many ideas. We follow that as well to grab information or digest that information. But at the end, as I told you, SEC transaction, you enter with institution price, you have possible reach based on the stock to stock. You have a winner there. You see multi-baggers early in the stage by using ultimate reports within different price range, within different sectors. You have a possibility of having big winner there. On a day to day or week to week, how stocks can be behaved, which sector is moving. You use Dow reports, which sector is moving, you'll be able to figure out, because stocks move sector by sector. Energy is doing good. Some point, tech stocks did good. Sometimes healthcare stocks ran crazy. Sometimes, solar stocks ran crazy. But to build that momentum, to understand that, okay, solar time has come, it takes 2-3 weeks. Then you are seeing that data available in front of you here. The only thing we will be able to analyze that, okay, maybe the trend has started for solar stocks, and then you take chance, right? It is all taking chance, and it is all about probability. There is no guarantee here. So all these are possible, all these are available. It's just from our end, we have to take time and invest and execute it. Let's say most of us don't have time to do that, which is common, which is understandable. When you follow, the results will be different, because you did not do the whole study what Thinksabio does to be able to execute it exactly or efficiently. Okay, having said that, I think I covered most of the topics which goes in, which adds value. Day one was very important to be able to understand day two, right? So on that note, we can open for question and answer. I'll allow everyone to unmute yourself. If you have any questions, let's go with that. I think I'm done here. Exactly 1 hour as we planned. No questions? Yeah, I think people can unmute themselves. Yeah, everybody are allowed to just open themselves, unmute themselves and talk. No need to raise the hand.
Hi, this is Tendra.
Yeah, hi Tendra.
Yeah, so as you mentioned that we can analyze and we can search and we can get the tips while the institutionals are getting, right? But how that is different than the tips Thinksabio is recommending on another channel. So how that difference? If that is the best price you are recommending to enter in.
So, sorry if I quite get that. You're asking whatever Thinksabio is posting, how is it different than if you do your own analysis and get in? Is that what it is?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. See, they do the same homework, but what I'm trying to say is definitely the end goal is to provide successful picks and make money for all of us, right? That's their entire team goal. However, what I'm trying to say is, let's say if you when I do myself, I clearly can think sometimes, okay, this fits my portfolio, okay, this fits my budget, this also fits this much way, how much I can invest, etc., etc. So they do the homework. Definitely, once that is done, little information on our end of homework, why, how much, what should I do if it works, what should I do if it doesn't work, because it's a probability game, right? Most times, stocks move up, stocks move down. Even if they move up, we don't know when to quit, right? Because let's say I can tell the example for that. Many in the past asked CRWD, can I enter at 80? Let's say you entered at 80. It's a good stock. That's what everybody has been telling. Thinksabio has been telling. You entered at 80. For whatever reason, it drops to 65. For whatever reason. So
right.
that could be a failure, right? That's a failure. Let's think that way. But if you fast forward 3 months later, it will be at 150. So at $80, what is that expectation that I have to answer you? Let's say if you ask me, hey, is it a good stock or not? So that kind of analysis. My point is, well, they identify great stocks or they identify the best opportunities. However, if I don't design a plan, maybe I would have quit at $70. I entered at 8, I couldn't take it, I quit at $70. But if I did DD, saying that, my plan is this is good stock, let me ride with it. Let any dips could be an advantage, or I'll just hang on with it. Then you are a winner. The same stock, the result is quite different here based on our action, right? So that's what it is.
Right. And what I'm understanding with this is because every quarter these reports are generating, right? So results are coming. So for me, at least I have to wait for 1 quarter to make it happen, right? That's my point of view, because whatever Thinksabio is recommending today, it won't pop it up in 1 week or 2 weeks. It pops up, I don't have an issue. I can encash it. But in my plan, I'm waiting for at least 1 quarter. That's my goal.
Right.
And that way I'm going. I am not going with the day-to-day fluctuation.
Understood.
Because
that's correct.
Right? So that way, that I learn from my past mistakes.
Correct. Yeah, we all learn. Yeah.
That I learned. And that's the beauty of this platform is, because every quarter, how it grows, it won't grow like last year. If happens, I don't have an issue, but not every time this will occur.
Correct.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing.
Yeah. We after all that possibilities or ideas are found, little homework from our end could give better results. Is my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions?
Do we have any? Because I asked 1 month or 2 months back. Do we have institutional performance? Means the overall institutionals are performing 20%, 30%.
Okay. So I think that got it, Hitendra. I think that report is not available, at least on the website. However, I think it is in the to-do list. I mean, I'm speaking as I see messages as well, right? So based on that message, I definitely think it is on their to-do list. And whenever it's available, it is available. But for me, based on my observation and etc., I learned which institutes to follow, when to follow, or some plan. Of course, at the end, it is not clear cut that it's 100% guaranteed, but some rules I have drawn. And I believe it is on the to-do list. I made a note quickly right now. I'll point it out that, hey, this is what one of the Thinksabio brought it up. Make sense? I'll do that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? We have 50 people. Nobody has questions. Okay. So if no questions, we'll end it. I think I was told we will conduct every alternate. I'm fine with it. By the way, I'm also volunteer like many others who joined here today. So I'll just work with them and come up with another session for day 1 and day 2 like this. Yeah, everybody, since no questions, have a good rest of the evening. I'll end this meeting.